Hello guys, in the last lecture we seen about the relation of temperature rise time curve, and today we will learn about methods of ventilation and cooling. We know that electrical machine is associated with the energy conversion which produces the losses, and that losses generates the heat and temperature rise inside the machine. The temperature rise, if allowed to increase beyond a permissible limit, depending upon the type of insulation used, it will deteriorate the insulation and renders the machine useless. Thus, it is necessary to provide suitable ventilation and cooling for machine. Uh, the cooling of electrical machine by means of an air stream is called ventilation of machine. So the cooling system can be majorly grouped into three types: natural cooling, self cooling, and separate cooling. Let's see what is natural cooling. Machine is cooled by air movement set up in the machine due to its rotation or due to temperature difference between internal parts and ambient temperature. It means natural cooling is nothing but without any modification in the machine for or any other arrangement for the cooling, artificial methods of cooling. So that is nothing but natural cooling. Next one, self cooling. The machine is cooled by air blown by fan integrally built with rotor or mounted on the shaft. For self cooling, internally fan is arranged, that is fan integrally built with the rotor or it is mounted on the shaft. Next one, separate cooling. The machine is cooled by air blown by fan driven by separate machine. What is the difference between the self cooling and separate cooling? In both the machines, fan is arranged, but in self cooling, fan is arranged internally, and in the separate cooling, the fan is arranged but with the separate machine. Means fan is driven by the separate machine in the separate cooling. Okay. Further, the ventilation of machine can be classified into three types according to the scheme of ventilation incorporated in the machine. The ventilation system are classified as open circuit ventilation. Again, open circuit ventilation is classified as induced ventilation and forced ventilation. Next, closed circuit ventilation, and third one, surface ventilation. Let's see one by one. Open circuit ventilation. Open circuit ventilation is nothing but a heat is given up directly to the cooling air. The air is being replaced continuously. The open circuit ventilation can be divided into two types according with how the air is brought into the machine. As first one, induced ventilation. In this scheme, fan produces a decreased pressure so that air is coming inside or sucked from the one side of the machine and that into the machine, and owing to the atmospheric pressure, the air is circulated through the machine and pushed out by the fan into the atmosphere. As you can see in the figure shows of arrangement of induced ventilation, and from left hand side the air inlet, and on the right hand side their arrangement of air outlet. Because of the rotation of fan, it creates a low pressure inside the machine, so that from air inlet the air is sucked from left hand side from air inlet, and it is owing to the atmospheric pressure on air outlet. So like that it is working, but fan is arranged internally, so that it is called as induced ventilation with internal fan. The fan can be arranged externally, so that also called that to be called as induced ventilation with external fan. Forced ventilation. In this scheme, a fan sucks the air from outside and forces it into the machine and finally pushed out into the atmosphere. Actually, what is the difference between induced and forced? In the induced, the low pressure is created by the fan, but in forced ventilation, with the help of the fan, the forcefully air is sucked from one end of the machine. So that is the main difference between them. Again, the fan is mostly arranged inside in this system also. As shown in figure, you can say that the forced ventilation system with internally arranged fan. So it is called as forced ventilation with internal fan. It can be also arranged externally, that to be called as forced ventilation with external fan. Next, closed circuit ventilation. In closed circuit ventilation, heat is transferred through a intermediate ventilation medium, normally air or hydrogen, circulating in closed circuit between the interior of the machine and a cooler. Here, in the closed circuit ventilation, coolant may be used as air, hydrogen, and sometimes there may be used as coolant used as water also. Next one, surface ventilation. The heat is transferred from the inside of the machine by cooling medium to the external surface of a totally enclosed machine. The external surface is being cooled by natural means or mainly by air blown by fan. Now, cooling air circuit. The ventilation system can be further divided into 4 types according to the provision of cooling ducts and how the air passes over the heated part of the machine. So it is divided as further divided as radial, axial, combined radial and axial, and multiple inlet. First, radial ventilation system. In this scheme, normally a fan is arranged inside of the machine, and centrifugal motion of the air is induces naturally. The moment of the air can be increased by rotor fans. And the radial system for small machine, you can see in figure C and figure D as well. In the figure C, you can get the clear idea. The forces, the air is went outside, going outside or throw outside with the help of that radial ventilation in the same direction of centrifugal forces. That's why it is called as circular centrifugal motion of air, and it is called as radial ventilation system. So normally this system is can be employed for the 20 kilowatt rating. The end brackets are so arranged shaped to guide air over the overhang and back of the core. For large size machine having longer core length, there should be a subdivided core, as you can see in the figure D. The air path through the radial ducts are in parallel with those across the overhang. Axial ventilation. Axial ventilation, as the name axial, the air circulation inside the machine is along the length of shaft. So that's why it is called as axial ventilation. This system is suitable for moderate output and high speed machines. This is because in a high speed machine, a solid rotor construction with restricted spider is used in order to avoid centrifugal stresses, and this restricts the provision of radial ventilating ducts. Hence, the axis ventilation has to be used. You can see the arrangement of axial ventilation as shown in figure E. Combined radial and axial ventilation. This method normally used for large motors and small turbo alternators. As shown in the figure, the arrangement for combined radial and axial ventilation. The air is drawn in at one end and guided to pass through the ducts for baffling the fan end of the rotor spider. The shaft mounted fan forces out the heated air, As you can see in the figure F, the radially also it is air is coming inside and going outside, and it is also circulated through the along the length of shaft, and as well as it is going through the ducts vertically as well, along the radius of core. So it is called as combined radial and axial ventilation. Multiple inlet ventilation system. This method is suitable for large machines. In this system, the stator frame and core is divided into a number of compartments. The previous methods of axial ventilation cannot be used for turbo machine having long core lengths, because by the time the cooling air reaches the central parts of machine, it has already become hot. Thus, in large machines, multiple inlet system is adopted. These compartments are used alternatively as inlet and outlet chambers. In the inlet chambers, the air is forced radially inwards, whereas in the outlet chambers, the air is forced radially outwards. In this system also, it is take care that each part of machine receives cool air. So you can see here a figure of multiple inlet ventilation system. In that you can also observe that this section or chamber having an inlet of the air, and alternatively next chamber having an outlet of the air. Alternatively, that ducts acts as a inlet and outlet. Closed circuit air cooling. A complete means of securing clean cooling air is by closed circuit ventilation system. Here the same volume of air passes through a closed circuit again and again. This circuit consists of various ducts in the machine, together with a chamber below containing the fans, air coolers, drying agents, etc. The cold air, after extracting the heat from the machine, becomes hot, and it is passes through a water cooled heat exchanger and then returned to the machine by a centrifugal fan. Closed circuit air cooling is applicable only up to the maximum you can say 50 megawatt. For machines of higher rating, large volume of air is required, and it is to be circulating, requiring hundreds of kilowatt of the fan power. Because of this alone, there is no scope of increasing the rating of cope up with the increased losses. Next one, hydrogen circuit closed circuit hydrogen cooling. There are certain advantages when hydrogen is used as a coolant in place of air under closed circuit cooling. First one, reduced fan power and reduced windage loss and noise. The density of the hydrogen is 7% of the air, obviously requiring much less fan power for circulation. That's why reduced windage loss and less noise. Second, better cooling medium. Specific heat of hydrogen is 14 times that of air. Thermal conductivity is 7 times, and heat transfer 1.5 times of the air. That's why so more rapid extract and gives the away the heat from internal part of the machine. Third, increased life. The thermal conductivity of hydrogen is 7 times that of air, which is of same order as that of winding insulation. Therefore, if there are pockets filled with hydrogen, heat conduction through them is as good as through insulation. Fourth, elimination of fire hazard. Fire hazard are eliminated as hydrogen does not support combustion so long as the hydrogen or air mixture exceeds 3:1 ratio. And the last one, smaller size of the heat exchanger. Smaller size of heat exchanger is required for cool the heated hydrogen. These are the advantages of that hydrogen cooling system.